And our guest today on Planetary Spirit is Dawn Carr, who is an international psychic medium, an intuitive consultant, paranormal investigator, certified hypnotherapist, as well as an author and peace activist. And as a true light worker, she strives to help people from all walks of life by bringing through messages of love and hope from those in spirit. And her website is www.angelsofdawn.net. That's www.angelsofdawn.net. So, okay, so you're enjoying all these different energies and angels and all. Are there any times where you've ever felt fearful of something coming through you? And what have you done to protect yourself in that instance?
Definitely. There was a situation when I first started doing this work where I was on the computer working late at night. My kids were asleep. I think I was the only one up in the house. And I went into my garage we have a fridge in the garage that has cold drinks in it. So I opened my garage door to get a cold drink. And as soon as I opened the door, you know the movie Psycho, when the music in the shower scene where it goes, as soon as I opened the door, all I could hear and feel was, and I went, oh my God, and I closed the door, and I was just like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Something's in my garage. And I was just like, okay, I sat down for a second, and I'm like, I'm going to pretend it's not there. So I pretended it wasn't there for about 15 minutes, and then I was like, okay, something's
not working.
Yeah, something's in my garage. So I opened the door again, and it's, so I closed the door, and I'm like, okay, everyone's asleep. My husband was working late, and I'm like, okay, I called up one of my intuitive friends, and I said, something's in my garage. What do I do? I don't know what to do. And she was like, okay, I get that it's scared of you too because it can't believe that you can see it, that it's there, you know? Oh. And I'm like, that's not helping me. I'm still freaked out about it. Right. So what we did was she taught me to fill the whole garage with white light, call an Archangel Michael, and just basically all the safety, angelic, divine stuff that you could possibly do. And I did, and it ran out of my garage and took off somewhere else. But that was my first weird experience. I was like, oh my God. So ever since then, I'm a big believer. I protect myself with white light. I fill my house with white light. I teach people how to cleanse their own energy and surround and protect themselves with white light. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there have been times when I've seen stuff that is not on the up and up, but I'm not afraid of it anymore because I know that if something's dark, shine a little light on it, and there you go. It's gone.
So over the years now, you've been doing this for a number of years. Have you been noticing that the type of people who are coming to you are not necessarily the New Age people or, the ones who are, it's almost like, have you noticed a shift in the type of people that are coming to you?
Yeah, I get a mixed group, actually. I get the people who are into the metaphysical and the spiritual stuff. And then I get people who just looking for guidance, and I actually, I like it when those type of people contact me because they're not as informed as, say, the spiritual or metaphysical people are because, they read books and talk and network and so on and so forth. But, Joe Blow on the street who isn't exposed to it and is just looking for guidance, I always make sure when I read for these people that I give them some insight I give them hope and insight into the spirit realm, into their own divine energy, so that they know that they can rise above anything. And that's what I'm all about, is encouragement and inspiration, because that's what they send through me, is courage, inspiration, hope, love, joy. I wrote this article at Christmas this past year. My spirit guides kind of wrote it through me about how people at Christmas, they take out their decorations that say joy and, joy to the world and all this stuff on it. Right. And then when Christmas is over, they put them back in the box, and the joy stays there all year. And my guides were like, tell people to keep the joy out all year long. They can be joyful at any time. It doesn't have to be Christmas. It doesn't have to be at a special time. You could be, having supposedly the worst day ever and still feel joyful. Joy is everywhere. And when you have joy, it uplifts your own energy, and it just brings you more joyful, positive energy. It's just, it's inspiring. It really is.
Yeah, and lifting up and upward energies is really what the world is coming into nowadays.
It's true.
Now, you've written a book. Is that
I'm writing a book. I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay. What's your book about?
It's about the path that I've been on, but it mostly is about teaching people how to enhance their own intuition and how to identify and work with the energy within them and around them. And I'm really proud of it because I just, there would be gaps where I don't write on it, and then my guides come in and say, like, okay, you need to write a chapter about this. And it's like, okay, this is cool, because I love learning. I'm like a sponge. I love to learn new things all the time. Mm-hmm. So I like to... anything I learn, I'm more than willing to teach other people because, hey, pass it on. What's wrong? It doesn't do you any good just holding on to it. Pass it along. Mm-hmm. So that's basically what my book is about, just teaching people how to work with their own energy and to identify the divine within themselves.
And have you found yourself growing as you're writing this book?
Very much so. And sometimes when I'm writing, I feel it's like I get into it. It like absorbs into me. It's almost like a meditation session when I'm writing it, when I'm channeling my guides when they're writing through me. So yeah, it makes me feel uplifted as well.
And do you feel that it's helping you to grow in certain ways by helping to maybe write from the perspective of someone who is being helped by reading this book?
Yes. They show me all different perspectives when I'm writing it. Yes. Yeah. I can't explain it. I just, whatever they teach me, I teach other people. I feel what other people will be feeling. Sometimes if I'm writing it from one perspective, my guides will come in and show me, well, you need to change this wording so that people will say, oh, I get it. This wording, they'll get it, but not quite. But if you change it this way, then, someone who's not into this business or into this work will really understand where you're coming from. And that's what I do. I write it from a universal, common person level because, hey, we're all the same. We're all universal.
Now, how do your kids handle psychic mom? I could see, soccer mom. that would be something that would be more on the regular kind of outlook. But psychic mom, how does that work?
Well, in the beginning, I didn't really talk about it or anything because I kept it from the world and I kept it from my family and my kids a lot too. I just felt like I didn't need to expose them to anything or freak them out, even though I'm an open person. I didn't want to expose them to anything that wasn't really necessary. So actually I have 3 kids and all 3 of them are intuitive in their own way. They're pretty acclimated to it now. They've been with me when Spirit has come in. Like we were in Europe last year and we were in Iceland, and there's an article on my website about how the Trail of Angels led us to this family in Iceland, and their deceased grandmother came through in it. I mean, I felt like I had to say it, and I did, and they were just overwhelmed, and it was awesome. But that's the first time my kids were like, yeah, okay, Mom, whatever, Mom. And my youngest son especially, he'll ask me to tune into stuff if he can't find my video game, Mom. Can you tune into it for me? The other day, he couldn't find his iPod. His iPod had been missing for like 3 months. So he comes up to me, right up to my face, and he goes, and he's as tall as me now, and he goes, Mom, I can't find my iPod. Can you tune into it for me? And he looks me in the eye, and then he wraps his arms around my shoulders and gives me this big hug. And as soon as he stepped into my energy, I saw exactly where it was. It was stuck between the bottom bunk bed, between the wall and the bed and stuff. And I said, "This is what I see," And I didn't know if it was really there, but that's what I saw. So I told him, and he came back out a minute later, and he's like, "I can't believe you." And I was like, raised up my hands in victory. He said, "I am the best psychic ever." So that's just a running joke in our house, but it's not out of the, it's regular stuff for them. It's nothing unusual.
So your kids are learning how to manipulate the psychic mom for their own personal gain.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's the winning number of the lottery?
Interesting with that is people ask me that too, and what I found is that sometimes I'll go to you go to the convenience store or the gas station, and there's lottery tickets behind the counter, and I'll just look up, and one of them will flash at me, and I'll be like, okay, I'll buy it. I'll win $400. The next day, I'll get a bill in the mail for $400. You see what I'm saying?
Man.
I don't know anybody really who has this type of intuition who uses it for material gain, because it doesn't work that way. If you need the extra money, it'll come to you. But, as far as kind of beating the system that way with the lottery, it doesn't really work.
And I know that you're also very interested in the whole concept and energy around peace, and I'm just wondering if that's something that your guides have been bringing you to?
Yeah, actually, it's been following me my whole life, and I just want people to know and understand that peace will open doors, violence will not. It's emotional to me, and I just want to promote peace and love everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Is that something though that you've been guided to?
Yes.
I mean, have your guides been kind of like, maybe as a child you had that kind of energy and desire, but has that something that's been growing in you now?
Yes.
And do you feel that the spiritual realm is guiding you more and more to speak on?
Yeah, what they're showing me that everything is interacted. So all the uplifting energy and stuff that I teach people about is related to peace as well. And peace, love, light, joy, it's all the same. So people feel embarrassed. They don't want to talk about love, or they don't want to talk about this, but they'll talk about peace, and that's just a part of the movement. It's all a part of the uplifting energy that's coming into the world. Peace is there with the wave.
Peace is there with the wave, and hopefully all of us are going to get more and more into that wave. So what would be the last thing that you would like to leave people with? We've got about a minute remaining here. Is there any kind of message or thought that you feel would help people to get in touch with their psychic ability?
Well, I just want people to understand that they can be open to the positive energy. You don't have to take negativity when it's placed at your feet or thrown at you. Just open yourself up. The more you open yourself up to the positive energy around you, the more that your intuition and your psychic gifts will unfold as well, because you can't be intuitive on an uplifting high level without having that love in your heart, without bringing it into your life. So, I mean, if somebody throws crud at you, throw them peace and love back. That's what I tell people. Just, you don't have to be negative. You don't have to accept it. Bring peace into the world. Bring love into the world. It's all there for us, always, everywhere.
And that's not just coming from Dawn Carr. That's also coming from the psychic spiritual realm of angels and the creative force. So thanks so much, Dawn, for being our guest today on Planetary Spirit. This has been quite enjoyable. And our guest today on Planetary Spirit has been Dawn Carr, who is an international psychic medium, an intuitive consultant, a paranormal investigator, as well as a certified hypnotherapist, a budding author, and a peace activist. And as a true light worker, she strives to help people from all walks of life by bringing through messages of love and hope from those in spirit. And her website is www.angelsofdawn.net. That's www.angelsofdawn.net. And if you're enjoying this program and would like to download past interviews, go to our website at www.planetary-spirit.com for on-demand archives of our past shows. And so this is Jeff Ferranini without Magdalena saying have a blessed day.